In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to cut and sew this stylish dress with a continuous cap sleeve and it gathers at the waist. So the inspiration is this yellow outfit you are seeing on the screen, while my recreation is this lilac color outfit. So if this is a tutorial you're interested in, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get right into this particular tutorial. So guys, this is the materials I'll be using, and this is a crepe fabric. I have 4 yards here, and the length is an ankle length, so the gown will get the ankle length. So guys, let's start with the pattern drafting. This is my pattern, and on this pattern I have my shoulder, my armhole, my bust, my under bust, I have my waist. The next line is the waist, and the last one here is my hip. And for the length, it is a long length, and the length I'm working with is about 57, but this pattern paper is just 36 inches, so I'll be using the 36 inches like that. So when I want to transfer it to my fabric, I'll complete the length. So on my bust, I measure my bust divided by 4, and on my waist, I measure my waist divided by 4. I'll be using a dart of 1 inch, which I'll still add to it. So on my hip also, I'll measure my hip divided by 4. So on my waist here, I'm using a dart of 1 inch. Even though I measured 1.5 here, I changed it. If you keep watching, you will see that I changed this to 1 inch. Initially, I wanted to use 1.5, but I changed it to 1 inch. So this is me changing it to 1 inch. Now you can connect your waist to your hip. To locate my dart, I'll measure my nipple to nipple, which is my bust span divided by 2. Then I will take ½ inch to the right and ½ inch to the left. For the dart leg, I want the dart to get to 1 inch below the bust line. So that's what I'm marking here. So this is 1 inch below my bust line. And for the length from the waist downward, I want it to just be 6 inches. So at this bust point, I'm measuring my nipple to nipple divided by 2. That's my bust span divided by 2, just to create a straight line at this point, and to also take the dart. So what I'm just doing basically is just to measure my dart. So guys, because I want my under bust to snatch, as you can see the fitting of the outfit, I want it to snatch. So what I'll be doing is to take what I took at the waist at the under bust also. So I'm taking the 1 inch at this under bust. When you take your dart at the under bust, is not always up to 1 inch again. So I'm marking it straight up like this. Then I will now connect it again in this way, just to confirm if I'm still working with my measurement. So what I did was to measure what I have at my under bust. My under bust and my waist is 28. So I just confirm to check if I still have my 28 and I still have my measurements intact. So this will not affect my measurement. So now the next thing I did was to go down by, I think, 3 inches, but I later did 2 inches. So I went down by 2 inches from the waist area. So just keep that aside for now. So the next thing I'm doing is to connect this line, this nipple bust span divided by 2. At that center, I rolled it downward, and for this hip area, I just connect my hip straight downward. Like I said, I'm using 2 inches, so I'm using the 2 inches now. Then I'll connect it to this center line using this curved ruler. See the way I'm connecting it, just connect it into this part like this. It is not straight, I just connected it bent in this manner. Yeah, so this was what I did here. Now the next thing I did was for the center parts of the dress. So what I used was 5 inch, so I'm using 2.5 on fold. So the space I want to have between the gathers at the center is 5 inch. So because this pattern is on fold, I'm drafting half of the pattern, so I'll be using 2.5. So when you open it up, you have 5 inches. So now I'm just reshaping what I have at the waist to this point here. If you use your bust span divided by 2, it will be too wide. That's why I reduced mine. So you can also reduce yours maybe by just 1 inch from the bus span. My bus span was 3.5, so I'm using 2.5. So whatever your bus span is, you can just reduce it by 1. So see the way I'm now connecting this. So this is what we have. So the next thing we'll do now is our side dart. So the difference between your half length for the back and the front, you measure it, then you take it out. So this is what we have for our pattern. So there are two methods to this thing. It's either you take all the darts at one position, or you can take the two darts at different position. So I will show you that when I'm cutting this pattern. So guys, let's move to our continuous cap sleeve. So you extend your shoulder slope like this, about 3.5 inches inward. Just measure 3.5 inches like this. Then at that point, you go down by 1 inch. From that point there, go down by 1 inch. Then you reshape from the 1 inch to your shoulder, where your shoulder is stopping. You'll use the curvy side of your pattern master or your French curve. So just connect it like this. See the way I connected it. Then you measure the line again if it is still 3.5. Then from that point, you reshape to your armhole. Because the armhole will be smaller, so you can just go down by about half inch from your initial armhole point. So then you reshape just like this. I went down a little bit because if you use this initial armhole, this part here will be too small, so you won't be able to raise your hand. And for my neckline, so what I used was, I think I used 5.5 inches wide, and the depth I used was 2.5 inches. So the neckline is keno, it is wide and not deep. So when you are working with a wide neckline, your neckline is not meant to be deep. But if your neckline is a deep neckline, let's say V neckline, is not meant to be wide. Do you understand that? So I'm using 5.5 by 2.5. So this is my neckline. This 2.5 by 5.5. So guys, after cutting this other part here, I will label it as my side front because we'll be needing this curvy shape we'll be needing the curvy shape. So now for the darts, like I said, you can either use two method. If you want, you can close up this side darts, and all the darts will be transferred to the center like this. You can close up the side darts and all the darts will be transferred to the center like this, or you can take the two darts. You take the one at the center and you take the one at the side. But what I did was I closed up the side dart, so I had only one dart which was at the center, so it was wide. And I'll show you how to cut it. I'll show you how I cut it out. So this is what I did initially, but I close up the dart. So for our back pattern, this is my back pattern. This does not have a zipper allowance. So this is my shoulder, my bust, and my waist. So this is my waist, and I'll measure my waist divided by 4, and I'll take my dart of 1 inch. So to prevent zipper bulge, I'll take half inch away here, which I will replace back. Yeah, what I took out there, I replace it back. So now let me prevent zipper bulge. So this is what it will look like, slanted upward like this. You will also slant it downward, which I will still do. For the back, it's just an half scale measurement, like an half length measurement plus extra 2 inches. So that was what I am using. So this line here, this first line here is my half length, that is my back length. So you see the other line there is the extension of the 2 inches. We went down by 2 inches at the front to do that shaping at the front. So that's the extra 2 inches, because if you don't add the 2 inches on the back, it will not align with the front. So that's the 2 inches. So I'm just trying to mark out my hip so that it can guide me. I don't need up to this hip length. I'm just trying to mark it so that it can guide me. So now I've marked out my hip at that point. I've marked out my waist, my bust, and the hip. So now the zipper bulge, you see how I shaped it from the waist upward and from the waist downward like that. So the next thing I will do now is to measure my dart, which is my bust span divided by 2. So guys, for the dart, your bust span divided by 2, then you take half inch to the right, half inch to the left. So for the length of the dart, I usually do 1 inch below my armhole, 1 inch below my armhole, and for the length of the dart leg downward, I usually just do 6 inches. So guys, for the dart length of the one downward, I'm not completing the dart. This is not a full length. So this pattern is just 2 inches below the waistline, 2 inches below your waistline, your back length. If you are using your back measurement, 2 inches below your back measurement. So to further prevent zip bulging, I just take half inch upward here just to snatch this. So this half inch does not affect at all. In fact, it prevents the zip bulging. Most time when you encounter zip bulging is due to the excess at this point. So it's the excess we are removing in advance. So for the back neckline, I use 2.5 by 5.5, but I will advise you use maybe 2 by 5.5, because the back will now look lower than the front. You can use 2 inch by 5.5, but I use 2.5 by 5.5. If that's fine by you, you can also use it. Just like we did for the front, you extend your shoulder slope like this. You measure 3.5, you go down by 1 inch, then you reshape this again at the 1 inch you went down. After reshaping, you now confirm if this is still 3.5. Confirm if this is still 3.5. So at this armhole, you go down by half inch, then you connect it. So you connect it like this. So what I usually do again is to place the front to place the front on the back to be sure if the armhole, if the shape of the sleeve are the same. So in case you notice any difference, you can just correct it. So after cutting your back bodies, you see this part here, we tape it in using your paper tape, and this is what your back will now look like. So this is the front pattern, and to know the length of the gathers we'll be making, what I usually do is to place my tape rule on this. So I'm placing this tape rule on my half length, and I went down by 2 inches. So I added the 2 inches to the half length, then I deducted that measurement from my full gown length. So the remaining measurement I have will be for the length of the gathers I'll be cutting. So that's what I did to get the remaining length of this gown. So these are my patterns here, and I will show you how to cut this. So this is the front pattern. As you can see that I've taped the side darts. As you can see that I added half inch at the center front. This is because there's joining at the center front. So if you don't want it to have joining, you can leave it. You see this part here, I just added half inch. This is actually where the darts will be starting from. So I will insert a pin here. And for this other part, so this is what I have. I added half inch for sewing, and for the side allowance, I just added 1 inch. You see this length, this extension is your full length. This is your full length, so it is longer than this, but because my table is small, so that's why I'm just showing you this part. But this center, you see the center front, it is getting downward to the full length. So I went ahead to cut it, and I've inserted the pin I said I will insert at the center, and this is what it looks like at the back. So I note the points. So I'll be starting the dart from that point, and when it gets to that part that is open, I'll be taking half inch downward. So this is the back also, and this is what it looks like. As you can see how I added the sewing allowance and the dart allowance and the joining allowance and the zipper allowance that I just added. So I've marked out where my darts will be. So for this end here, I just notch the points, the 2 points. So I notched the point, and for this center here, I insert a pin into it, and for the year 2, I inserted a pin, and this is what it looks like at the back. So I will start the dart from this lower part here. It will stop there, then it will continue to this part here. So that's how I will take the dart. So I also went ahead to cut out facing for the front and for the back, and this is what the facing of the back looks like. So this is the facing for the back, and I'll also show you the facing for the front soon. So for the facing of the front, the half inch, I will be joining the center front with half inch, so I did not add the half inch to the facing, so the facing does not have that joining. So it's after I'm done with the joining of the center front, that's when I will now place the facing, so the facing will now be the same length like that. So this is what I have for the front facing. I hope you are understanding. That's why I'm showing you everything close up like this. So for the gathers, this is my fabric here. So this fabric here, as you can see from one point, as you can see the edge of the crepe, so it has two sides, one for the left, one for the right, and this is what I have. So this is about 60 inches wide, and the length is your length you calculated after deducting your half length from your full gown length. So I have two pieces here, and the wideness of the gathers is about 60 inches. So after making the gathers, this is what we have here. This is what we have after making the gathers. So now the next thing I will do is to shape out this shape of the front. We have this slant shape at the front, so I'll place the pattern I cut out at the front to shape this part here. So that's what I will do. Make sure that you are using where you are cutting is where will be at the front, so don't go and make a mistake of cutting where the back. So you can check your fabric, the right side, make sure they are facing each other so that you can cut this shape at the edge here. So this is just what I did. I just cut out this slanted shape so that it is not, I don't just join it straight like that. So it is slanted like this, and this is how I will join it to that side. I will also show you when I'm about to join it. So now this is what it will look like. So you have to have two separate pieces, because there's a joining at the center back. So now I've went ahead to sew the upper part. So I've went ahead to sew it, to join it, to take the dart. For the armhole, I use a bias tape to turn it. So this is the bias tape I used to turn it. And for the neckline, there is a facing. So I use the facing and I top stitch on the facing. And for the darts at the front, I told you, I marked the point and I showed you. So I already took the darts, and this is what it is looking like. For the back, this is what the back is also looking like. I've also done the dart at the back, and the facing at the neckline I've done it. So now it's time to fix the gathers to the side of the dress. So the side you slanted, that edge we slanted will be at the front, while the part that is still straight will be at the back. So this is what we have. So I want the gathers to stop at this joining at the center front. So that's where I want it to stop. So these gathers, I want it to stop at this point. I will show you very soon where I want it to stop, so that it can look the same. So guys, after joining, this is what I have. So the gathers, like I said, I want it to stop at this. You will see the point very soon. So it stopped at this that area. So that's where it stopped. Yeah, this point here. So the straight part now started from that part downward. And for the back, this is what the back is looking like. And I've already went ahead to fix my zipper at this point. So I'm just trying to remove the threads that are hanging at this point. So guys, this is basically all about this gown, and it turned out perfect. Like that was very nice. The snatching and the under bust, I love it so much. So this is what the outcome looks like. So this is the outcome of the dress. As you can see, the fitting at the front, at the back there's no zipper bulge, and that's all about this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't liked, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye.